The hymn, "What Wondrous Love Is This?", often referred to as simply Wondrous Love, originated in the American South in the early years of the 1800s. It became popular during the Second Great Awakening, a Protestant religious revival of the early 19th century. An emphasis on lay people deepening their connection to God instead of relying on a minister's intercession saw a rise in congregational singing and a commensurate increase in hymnody. At a time when universal literacy was by no means the standard either with words or music, the hymns were written to be both accessible and memorable through oral transmission. This meant that the words were often simple and repetitive, as we can see in Wondrous Love. The lyrics were first published in Lynchburg, Virginia in the 1811 Camp Meeting Songbook, a general selection of the newest and most admired hymns and spiritual songs now in use. For the first several decades of printing, the hymn was attributed to an anonymous author, but in the 1848 hymnal The Hesperian Harp, the lyrics are attributed to Alexander Means, a Methodist minister from Oxford, Georgia. In the hymnal 1982, we sing 3 verses. What wondrous love is this, that caused the Lord of bliss to lay aside his crown for my soul? To God and to the Lamb, who is the great I Am, while millions join the theme I will sing. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing and joyful be, and through eternity I'll sing on. There are a number of variations in hymnals around the world today, but the original 1811 version included 3 additional verses. When I was sinking down beneath God's righteous frown, Christ laid aside his crown for my soul. Ye winged seraphs fly like comets through the sky, fill vast eternity with the news. Ye friends of Zion's King, with hearts and voices sing, and strike each tuneful string in his praise. It is interesting to note that the verses included in the hymnal 1982 tend to focus more on personal salvation, while the original verses included an element of corporate praise. The text was published with the tune we sing, now also known as Wondrous Love, in the Southern Harmony. This was a hymn book compiled by William Walker and first published in 1835. Along with Sacred Harp, it is well known as a compendium of shape note versions of many familiar hymn tunes. As mentioned earlier, most people in the early to mid-19th century were not musically literate, and the system of shape notes assigned certain shapes to specific notes within the scale. This allowed people without formal musical training to decipher the music on the page through pattern recognition, given a scale in which to work. The tune, however, had likely been paired with the text long before it was printed in Walker's book. When the hymn was first published in 1811, it was printed without music, as was customary. As a result, congregations would assign a tune to the text that was both familiar and fit the poetic meter. In the case of Wondrous Love, this was the English song The Ballad of Captain Kidd, written in 1701. Captain William Kidd was a notorious Scottish sailor-turned-pirate who was executed in London in 1701, and this song telling of his exploits quickly traveled to the colonies. The tune has a haunting feeling due to being in the Dorian mode, which means that it is almost in a minor key with one expected hint of major on the 6th note of the scale. The words remind us of John 3:16, expressing the wonder of God sending his Son Jesus to earth for our salvation. But there is also a hint of Revelations, with imagery of the Lamb upon his throne and singing through all eternity. Please enjoy What Wondrous Love Is This?